All right, here we go. Week 2 IHSA Football Season 2022. My name is Peter Lambert, a.k.a. Coach Big Pete. Follow Deep Dish Football and Coach Big Pete on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. My email is coachbigpetefp@gmail.com. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. My email, again, is coachbigpetefp@gmail.com. All right, so let's get started. Week 2 IHSA Football. And again, we had a pretty safe week in the first week, unlike last year where we had the first week was absolutely craziness. This second week, if we can get a consecutive thing going of safe wins and not really unexpected losses or any of that stuff, we'll be good. Since 2019, it's been since 2019, the fall season. I'm expecting for some craziness to unravel. I really think I just got this feeling in the pit of my stomach that something's bad, not bad, but something's going to happen. I think it's awesome. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of underdog teams. So let's get started. And again, Deep Dish Football Live is at 7 p.m. every Wednesday on the Deep Dish Football Facebook page. DuPage Run Shoot show with my co-host Patrick Codo, who does a wonderful job, is Thursday, comes out in nighttime whenever I can try to get it fully uploaded. And on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. This might be a little bit earlier this Saturday for week 2. Just a little bit of a warning. Breakfast with Coach Big Pete might be at 8 or 7 because I'm coming back from Grant. And the Deep Dish Football game of the week is Grant versus Taft High School. I'm excited. It's going to be up on Fox Lake. First time ever at Fox Lake. I'm excited to go to this game. It's going to be awesome. And again, just again, quick reminder, because people keep, I want to say it, recruiting is 100% free. Do not pay for recruiting services. Do not bother with any middlemen or that. The best person for your child to get recruited, or if you're a recruit, is your high school head coach. That's the most important person in your recruiting. Please understand that. All right, so let's get started. And first of all, Grant versus Taft. I'm excited game. Again, two teams that are 0-1. They need that win. Taft needs this win. Again, they're going to be in the playoff hunt. Grant, new coach, new energy. Can they get the W against a tough Taft offense? I'm excited for this game. It should be a big one. Next, and this is the big game in the state that a lot of people like to talk about, Batavia versus Lincoln Way East, scheduled game. Two of the same type of cultures. It's going to be a tough game. Discipline in that, because I see both teams again challenging for state title, 8A, 7A. It's such a toss-up. Honestly, it's such a toss-up. You got to look at Lincoln Way East in their passing attack against Batavia's passing attack, and you got to give the slightest advantage to Batavia's passing attack. But we will see, and I'm going to eat a bunch of crow for saying it, and I ate a lot of crow last week, so I got a lot of games wrong. So no doubt about that. I always get games wrong. Also, another big one to talk about as well is we got, just going out to scroll down as usual, the tradition of the Coach Big Pete's games. All right, so for me, the Big Northern Conference is a very interesting conference after Stillman Valley beat Bryan. Stillman Valley takes on Rock Falls, not that much of a big game. In my personal feeling, Bryan versus Winnebago. We'll see what happens. I think Bryan can come back with a W on that one. Genoa Kingston, keeping a close eye on Genoa Kingston and Rockford Lutheran. I think Rockford Lutheran is going to be an interesting team this year. Peoria gets the win after a forfeit. I think because there was a fight broke out, but they get the win. They were winning too. They take on Danville, not that much of a big game. Or Notre Dame Peoria Notre Dame still looking for a game. By the way, Ridgewood Week 2 is looking for a game right now. I'm filming August 31st at 9:52 a.m. They're still looking for a game, Ridgewood football, just to let you guys know. Fairfield at Cesarvellier, an interesting game in the Black Diamond Conference, as is Johnston City at Eldorado. We'll see if Eldorado can make a lucky season this season. I'm definitely looking at Eldorado. Sorry about that. Glenwood versus Decatur MacArthur. We'll see what Decatur MacArthur has. That's going to be another interesting game. Sacred Heart Griffins, Springfield Southeastern. Oh, I'm sorry, Springfield High School at Springfield Southeastern Field. Interesting game too. Springfield High School. We'll see what they got. This is going to be a big game for Springfield as they take Sacred Heart Griffin, who absolutely destroyed Rochester. Prairie Ridge, Burlington Central. We'll see what Burlington Central's got. Crystal Lake South, they lost last week, so they're taking on Cary Grove. We'll see what happens there. And Hampshire at Dundee Crown. The only reason why I'm saying that game is because Hampshire's running back killed it. Absolutely a huge record of rushing yards. They still lost, but keep an eye out for that Hampshire running back. He is a sophomore, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he's a sophomore. Tri-Valley, Dare Creek is always interesting. Mackinac is always an interesting game to look at. Eureka, do pay attention to Eureka. Please pay attention to Eureka. Eureka could be a dark horse. Could be a huge dark horse. Do not sleep on the Eureka Hornets. Let's go down. Eureka. All right. And after that, we get Fisher. No, sorry. Just a JV game. Sorry about that. That's my fault. Monticello at IVC, an interesting game with the Grey Ghost. Bloomington Central Catholic, they have another big game going facing, Rantoul. So if Rantoul's, they're a little bit of an easy team, but keep an eye out for Colin Hayes of Bloomington Central Catholic. Lisle at Wilmington, big game for Lisle. This is the big proving point. They take on the Wilmington Wildcats. Wilmington won big over Marengo. It should be an interesting game. Again, how do you beat a Wilmington team? You got to pass the ball. We'll see how it happens. Ever since they lost their top quarterback to Riverside Brookfield, who transferred to Riverside Brookfield. Mount Carmel, I'm looking very highly at the Mount Carmel Golden Aces. This is not the Mount Carmel Chicago, but the Golden Aces down in Southern Illinois. Where's the other one? Where's the other big game? Freeport. No. Where's the big? I'm trying to find. There's one big game I know that's really up north. Hanahu versus Harlem is always a big game. Definitely a game to check out. Also keeping a close eye on Boylan Catholic. Lena Winslow at Dakota. I got Dakota as my sleeper team, and I know I'm going to get shit from Kyle. And I know he's a Dakota graduate, but I think Dakota can do good this year. Lena Winslow's just too tough. The guy, Dunker, this guy, I think it's like 3 touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken. He balled out last week. Macomb at South Fulton. Keep a close eye for Macomb. Macomb could be a hot team this season, so do not sleep on the Macomb Bombers. Rushville Industry takes on Elmwood Burnfield. I got Rushville Industry. I think they're going to win that game. Auburn at Merrill Forsyth from the Sagamo Conference. I'm not talking about Rockford Auburn. I'm talking about Auburn in Central Illinois. Auburn is looking hot right now, especially with their offensive line, and they're taking on a tough Merrill Forsyth team who's hungry for a state title. So don't sleep on Merrill Forsyth this year. But hey, it's Merrill Forsyth. No one sleeps on them. Their name is synonymous with winning in the state of Illinois, especially small school winning in the state of Illinois. No doubt about that. South Central. I like what I'm seeing out of Pana. I think it's an interesting team. Hillsborough Pana is going to be an interesting game as well. Upstate 8, Glenbard South, Fenton. Glenbard South's going to win that game. No doubt about that. Glenbard East, South Elgin is one of the bigger games in the Upstate 8. Glenbard East. That defensive line, I'm telling you that right now, that's a big boy defensive line. They'll smash you. It's going to be a great game. Elgin with that running attack and passing attack is unbelievable. And that option that they have, it is going to be one of the great games in the state of Illinois. Definitely a game you got to check out. It's going to be all in that defensive line of Glenbard East. Check it out. Barrington at Prospect, big game right there. Prospect looks good this year. Prospect looks really good this year. Dan DeBuff's got him challenging for a state title, no doubt about that. I talked about Batavia versus Lincoln Way East is the big game. Benton at Chester. Can Benton get a win against the tough Chester Hornets team? Simeon versus Bolingbrook, another huge game. Simeon proved a lot last week. Bolingbrook 2, that's a big time game right there for week 2. Bolingbrook versus Simeon, definitely a game you got to keep an eye out for. Reed Custer at Arcola, keep an eye out for Arcola's quarterback. Breeze Matter Day versus Breeze Central, big rivalry game. The Melt game, I forgot the full name of the game, but that's a big rivalry game. Keep an eye out for Trenton Zeeb of Breeze Matter Day. Cuyahoga at home with Flossmoor. Cuyahoga 1-0, home with Flossmoor 0-1. Another big time game. Cuyahoga, again, Omarion Gooden is definitely a player you got to keep an eye out for. Home with Flossmoor, they had a big loss last week. Can they come back? That's going to be a good game. Salt Fork at Moments is interesting because there's a tight end that's unbelievable, Garrett Taylor. He's a guy that you got to keep an eye out for. He's one of the best tight ends in the state of Illinois. Definitely keep an eye out. Brother Rice at St. Rita. St. Rita 0-1. Brother Rice 1-0. Got to see some life from St. Rita. They lost big time against Mount Carmel, and that's the Mount Carmel in Chicago. And I'll be talking about a lot of these games tonight on Deep Dish Football Live. A lot of Chicago teams I'm seeing the schedule, they haven't been removed because they canceled their seasons. I don't know why they're still on the schedule. This is from IHSA.org, by the way. The whole schedule is on IHSA.org for the number one source for Illinois high school football because it's the governing body. Morgan Park versus Rich Township. Interesting game. Rich Township is going to be a surprise team. Morgan Park looks good. They had a great first game. Their quarterback absolutely killed it. The Raptors of Rich Township are a team that you got to be very scared about. I had them as a surprise team this year. Hopefully they can prove me right and not prove me wrong. Chicago DePaul against Edmonton's going to be an interesting game too. Edmonton's a great team. Definitely a team you got to check out. Marist at Richards. Richards suffered that first loss. Marist is hungry. Marist really did honestly challenge Glenbard West. They really did. So that's another interesting game there too. Mount Carmel at Phillips. I'm going to give it to Mount Carmel. I think Phillips is a little bit on a downswing right now. They'll bounce back though. Niles Notre Dame, St. Patrick battle of 1-0s. That's another big game right there. Niles Notre Dame is definitely a team that a lot of people are not talking about. St. Patrick, another team that no one's really talking about. And you can just see the difference in this game from last year, not last year, but a couple of years ago to this year now. And especially with Niles Notre Dame, they got two twin brothers, unbelievably talented. Let's see, looking for anything else. I don't know why you guys like this video and article so much. This literally is like the most popular article / video. And by the way, the article's on deepdishfootball.com. Visit deepdishfootball.com. Crete Moniz going to Indiana. They had a tough loss last week to Lincoln Way East. Montini versus Hillcrest. That's just up in the air with that. Montini needs that win bad, really bad. I like what I've seen from Clifton Central. I know they had the first loss. I think they're going to win this game. And do not sleep on Seneca, by the way. The Seneca Fighting Irish. Don't sleep on that. That's an interesting team as well. Uh, St. Edward Taylorville was last year's Deep Dish Football overtime game of the week. It's at Taylorville. I'm going to give the advantage slight to Taylorville. Hoffman Estates, Elk Grove Village. Hoffman Estates needs to get the win. IC versus Joliet Catholic is a huge game. It's an interesting battle with Joliet Catholic with their quarterback against IC's quarterback, who's now more of a seasoned Manila, and a great skilled positions at IC. Unbelievable young line for Joliet Catholic. Definitely a game you got to check out. Area Prophetstown, St. Bede. St. Bede's quarterback threw 4 touchdowns last week. Keep an eye out for St. Bede and also keep an eye out for Area Prophetstown. Evanston at Libertyville. Libertyville got the loss. Evanston won in overtime. Another big game that you got to check out too. Geneseo at Grays Lake Central. Grays Lake Central. That's going to be another interesting game. Geneseo can get that win. It's going to be a big-time season for Geneseo. I said that. If I'm wrong, I'll equal Geneva at Kalen. Another interesting game. Keep a close eye out for Geneva. Kalen and Morris is the game of the week for next week. So this is a big-time game for Kalen and Geneva both. Glenbar West at DGS. DGS, you got to do something. You got to do something. Still looking down. Johnsburg, Woodstock, Marion Central Catholic, again, against a tough Johnsburg team. If they can get that W, that'd be big for them. Hoopston at Seneca, another big-time game right there. Keep an eye out for Seneca. I have them as one of my surprises in the small school division. Lamont at Nazareth Academy. That's a big boy game right there. That's a huge big boy game right there. I'm telling you right now, Lamont proved a lot against Libertyville. Nazareth proved a lot against Kankakee last week. That's a big boy game right there. It'll be interesting to see how Lamont's offense and running attack respond to Nazareth's defense and their ground attack as well. So that should be an interesting game. Highland and Edwardsville, 2 interesting teams, but Edwardsville, they had that big win last week against that Missouri team that ended their winning streak, and I gotta say I'm quite impressed with Edwardsville. So yeah, definitely, Edwardsville is the real deal, no doubt about that. Bishop Mackey, Coal City, nice little area rivalry game. We'll see what happens there. Coal City, they need to win. Bishop Mack needs to win, definitely, and I can't find them, but Marion Academy is another interesting team. They beat Bishop Mack last week. You got to keep a close eye for that. And I forgot his first name. Lim is one of the key players that you must know about as we continue the season. Juliet West and Manuka. Can Manuka get the win after a tough loss to Bolingbrook? Even in the defense, can they shore up everything? Lions and Addison Trail. Addison Trail got the win last week. Can they get to 2 wins? Lions Township is looking really good this year. So definitely a team to check out. Lake Zurich at St. Charles North. Lake Zurich 1-0. St. Charles North 0-1. Lake Zurich has a chance to get to 2-0. St. Charles North needs that win bad. This is a must-win game for St. Charles North. No doubt about that, to get that loss out of their mouth. Mantino at Plano. Again, 2 teams. Mantino got absolutely crushed. Plano lost the game as well. Another interesting game as we look into the state of Illinois. Mascata takes on Mount Vernon. Keep an eye out for Mount Vernon, new old head coach back in the reins. Mount Vernon might be one of the biggest surprises in Southern Illinois. So keep a close eye out for the Rams. No doubt about that. That game got canceled. Morris at Antioch. Always a big game. Antioch is going to be a huge surprise to some people. But they got a big proving game against Morris, because I think Morris is a state challenger. No doubt about that. Naperville Central, Plainfield North. Battle of 1-0. Naperville Central beat Hinsdale Central last week. Plainfield North beat Plainfield East. Big, not a rivalry, but matchup for both teams to get that 2-0 spot. And what two better teams with actually two impressive defenses. Naperville Central's defense was quite impressive last week. Moline at Bennett Academy. Got to do something, Bennett Academy. No doubt about that. Palatine at Buffalo Grove. Always an interesting game there. Chicago Christian, Ottawa Marquette. Let's see what Ottawa Marquette can do if they can get to 2-0. They beat Aurora Christian last week. Very impressed with that. Richmond Burden, nah. Riverside Brookfield at Wakanda. Riverside Brookfield, they got a shot to beat in 2-0. Riverside Brookfield is looking scary this season. They beat a tough Morton team, so big shout out to them. Rochelle's 1-0. Herscher's 1-0. Two surprise teams. Could get to 2-0. Either Rochelle or Herscher. And Herscher, I absolutely love. New head coach. But it's tough against the tough Hubs team. I love what the Hubs are doing on defense, so definitely game you must check out. St. Charles East, Wabanzi Valley. St. Charles East got a good shot to getting 2-0. And they got a new head coach. And St. Charles East is looking great right now. Oswego East versus Lincoln Way West. Another game. Oswego at Andrew. Ottawa at Streeter. A big rivalry game right there. Can Streeter pull it off and get to 2-0? I'm telling you this right now. If they get to 2-0, watch out for those Bulldogs. I'm telling you that right now. Let's go down some more. And what else? We got something finishing off Quincy. No, that's going to be one for Quincy. I'll probably get that wrong too. I'll probably jinx myself. Fenwick scheduling 4-1. That's very interesting. Sterling Wayne St. Francis is big. That's a big boy game right there. If Sterling can get to that 2-0, awesome. St. Francis, they proved that they can win. They beat Lake Forest the first game. This is a big-time game with the Sterling. And how do they stop that running attack? And how do they go through that tough Sterling defense? It's going to be an interesting game. Vernon Hills versus Lakes. I want to see a lot from Vernon Hills. Lakes, impressive. Their wide receiver broke a record for receptions. A very interesting game right there. And I keep saying interesting. Washington and Kankakee get to 2-0. Washington has always been a tough team. Wayne Academy. No, that's going to be one for Wayne Academy. Wayne North, Providence Catholic. Big boy game right there. Providence Catholic. They got to get that W against the tough Wayne North team. Wayne North proved a lot when they beat Downers Grove South. And we'll see what happens. This is an interesting season for Wayne North, but what I saw from game film on their line and their offensive line, they did not miss a beat. On their defensive line, they did not miss a beat. Wow. Just wow. And a young quarterback, too. Another interesting team as we go into later the season. Wheaton Warrenville South versus Neuqua Valley. Neuqua Valley 1-0. Wheaton Warrenville South is 0-1. Can they stop Mark Meneke? That's the big question. And New Trier, Stevenson. New Trier 0-1. We'll see what happens with that. And Zion Benton at Maine West could be a big time. Foreshadowing of both teams for week 2. So that is it. Games of the week. Remember, Deep Dish Football Live 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Wednesday. Breakfast with Coach Big Pete, Saturday, 9 a.m. It's going to be a little bit earlier this week because I'm coming back from Grant, so I might stay up all night and just do the show. Also, DuPage Run Shoot show Thursday comes out with my co-host Patrick Codo. Make sure you follow Patrick Codo on Twitter. He is part of Naperville Community Access Television. He does a wonderful job. Graduate of SIU. He's going to be a big-time broadcaster. Check him out. Follow Coach Big Pete and Deep Dish Football on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. My email is coachbigpetefp@gmail.com. Thank you so much for joining. And I do not know why you guys like this video so much, honestly. But let's get ready for week 2. It should be exciting. See you guys on Deep Dish Football Live. Thank you guys so much, and have a lovely, lovely morning.